What happens when the 29-year-old son of a billionaire CEO assaults a 71-year-old Vietnam veteran in a restaurant parking lot, then walks into Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom accompanied by 8 corporate attorneys, forming a barrier of legal pressure? This privileged man is about to discover that legal teams can sometimes backfire, that certain company funds cannot be used for personal defense, and that a single call to the SEC can cause his father's stock to drop 40% in just one afternoon. But what makes this case truly damaging isn't only the assault on a veteran or the unnecessary legal entourage. It's what unfolded after Judge Caprio contacted the Securities and Exchange Commission, a call that sparked a federal inquiry, triggered a steep decline in Sterling Industries stock value, wiped out billions in shareholder wealth, and ultimately forced the billionaire CEO father to step down in humiliation. It's a Thursday morning in Providence Municipal Court. The courtroom audience is filled with anticipation because word has circulated that something unusual is about to occur. Marcus Sterling, 29, son of billionaire executive Robert Sterling of Sterling Industries, is facing charges of assault and battery against an elderly individual following an incident at the Capitol Grill 5 evenings earlier. The victim, 71-year-old James Martinez, is a decorated Vietnam veteran who had been dining with his wife for their 45th anniversary when Marcus, intoxicated and aggressive, argued with a valet over parking preference. When James calmly suggested Marcus relax, Marcus pushed him hard into a vehicle, causing him to fall and sustain a broken collarbone along with significant bruising. Yet what makes today's hearing exceptional goes beyond the criminal charges themselves. It's what's about to walk through those courtroom doors. Doors open and Marcus Sterling steps inside, though he's far from alone. Behind him, filling almost the entire aisle, are 8 lawyers. Not one, not 2, 8 attorneys in high-end suits, carrying matching briefcases, moving together with the coordination of a corporate legal team. Leading the group is attorney Christopher Blackwell of Morrison & Blackwell, one of New York's most respected corporate law firms. He walks directly behind Marcus. Following him, the other 7 attorneys spread out, occupying an entire row of benches. They're all wearing similar dark suits and carrying identical leather portfolios embossed with the Sterling Industries logo in gold. The visual is striking. It resembles a corporate board meeting rather than a criminal hearing. A few people in the gallery audibly react. Judge Caprio observes their entrance closely, his experience making it clear he understands exactly what is happening. Legal intimidation. The message is unmistakable. We have extensive resources, extensive legal power, and we intend to use it. Marcus himself is dressed in a tailored charcoal suit, wearing a designer watch, his hair styled perfectly. He carries the confident attitude of someone who has never faced real consequences. He doesn't look worried. He looks uninterested. The bailiff calls the case. The State of Rhode Island versus Marcus Robert Sterling. Charges: assault and battery on an elderly person. Judge Caprio reviews the file, then looks up at the group of attorneys taking up much of his courtroom. Mr. Sterling, before we start, I need to clarify something. How many attorneys are representing you today? Christopher Blackwell stands calmly. Your Honor, I'm Christopher Blackwell, lead counsel. With me are 7 associate attorneys from Morrison & Blackwell, as well as specialists in fields related to this case. Judge Caprio's eyebrows lift slightly. 8 attorneys for a straightforward assault and battery case. Your Honor, Mr. Sterling's family has major interests at stake. We believe he deserves full and careful representation. I understand. And who is covering the cost of this? Thorough representation, Blackwell replies without delay. Sterling Industries, Your Honor. Mr. Sterling's father, Robert Sterling, serves as the CEO and majority shareholder. The company maintains a legal defense fund for members of the executive family. Judge Caprio's expression becomes controlled and unreadable. Sterling Industries is publicly traded, correct? Yes, Your Honor. Listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol STRO. And this publicly traded company is funding 8 corporate attorneys to defend the CEO's son in a criminal assault matter? Blackwell adjusts slightly. It is permitted under the company's legal policies to offer support to executive family members. Your Honor. Judge Caprio makes a brief note but doesn't continue on that point. Mr. Sterling, how do you plead? Marcus lifts his eyes only slightly. Not guilty. Mr. Blackwell, I assume you want to address the court. Blackwell rises. And what follows is a display of highly coordinated corporate legal pressure. Your Honor, we request dismissal of all charges due to lack of evidence. Improper police procedure, violations of my client's rights at the time of arrest, and Judge Caprio raises his hand. Mr. Blackwell, we have not yet reviewed the evidence. You are filing motions to dismiss based on procedures you have not examined. Another attorney stands. Your Honor, I'm David Chen, specializing in criminal procedure. After reviewing the arrest records, I identified 17 procedural inconsistencies. Judge Caprio stops him. Mr. Chen, please sit. Mr. Blackwell, control your team. This is not a corporate board meeting. This is a courtroom. Only one attorney may speak at a time. A third lawyer rises halfway. Your Honor, may I address the procedural? No, you may not. Sit down. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button now. Because what Judge Caprio does next shows exactly how he responds when corporate legal pressure tries to take over. And he refuses to be pushed around. Judge Caprio turns to the prosecutor. Please present the evidence. Assistant District Attorney Rachel Kim stands. Your Honor, 5 nights ago, at roughly 9:30 p.m., Mr. Sterling was at the Capitol Grill in downtown Providence. Security footage shows him arriving in his Lamborghini already appearing intoxicated. He then argued aggressively with the valet about parking priority. 2 of Sterling's attorneys stand at the same time. Objection, Your Honor. Judge Caprio cuts in. Sit down, both of you. Ms. Kim has the floor. They sit, making it clear they plan to object repeatedly to cause delays and confusion. Adia Kim continues. Mr. James Martinez, a 71-year-old Vietnam veteran, was leaving the restaurant with his wife after their anniversary dinner. He saw Mr. Sterling's behavior and calmly suggested he settle down. Mr. Sterling responded by shoving Mr. Martinez hard against a vehicle, causing him to fall and break his collarbone. Another attorney rises. Your Honor, we dispute that description of sit down, Judge Caprio says. Ms. Kim, continue. Your Honor, we have the security footage, multiple witnesses, and Mr. Martinez's medical records. The evidence is straightforward. Judge Caprio signals to the clerk. Let's view the security footage. 3 attorneys immediately stand. Your Honor, we object to the chain of custody. Sit down, all of you, Judge Caprio warns. I will hold each of you in contempt if you interrupt again. The courtroom grows tense. The group of 8 attorneys is clearly using a strategy of non-stop objections to disrupt and delay the hearing. The security footage begins to play. It shows Marcus Lamborghini pulling up. Marcus steps out, visibly intoxicated, wobbling slightly. He gestures sharply at the valet. James Martinez enters the frame, walking beside his elderly wife. James approaches calmly, keeping his hands visible, clearly attempting to defuse the situation. Marcus turns toward him, points in an aggressive manner, and then forcefully shoves James with both hands. James falls back against a parked car and collapses to the ground. The footage is completely clear. There is no confusion about what happened. When the clip ends, Judge Caprio looks directly at Marcus. Mr. Sterling, that video shows you assaulting an elderly man. What is your response? Marcus shrugs. He got in my face. I was defending myself. Judge Caprio's expression hardens. Mr. Sterling, the video shows Mr. Martinez standing several feet away with his hands in view. You attacked him without provocation. Christopher Blackwell rises immediately. This time, 4 other attorneys stand with him, forming a line of suits. Your Honor, we have expert witnesses ready to testify that the camera angle is misleading, and that Mr. Martinez was actually the aggressor. Judge Caprio stands, his voice filling the courtroom. Enough. All of you sit down. The attorneys comply, though Marcus gives a faint smirk. Their pressure tactic appears to be influencing the room, pushing it toward disorder. Judge Caprio then calls James Martinez to speak. The elderly veteran rises slowly, his arm in a sling, his shoulder visibly causing discomfort. Mr. Martinez, please tell the court what occurred. James speaks softly but with steady control. Your Honor, my wife and I were celebrating our 45th anniversary. We were heading to our car when I noticed this young man. He points at Marcus, yelling at the valet, insulting him, threatening him. I walked over and said, Sir, please calm down. This isn't necessary. He looked at me and said, Mind your own business, old man. I replied, I'm only trying to help. That's when he pushed me. I fell against the car. I heard something crack in my shoulder. The pain hit right away. Judge Caprio asks softly, Mr. Martinez, how has this injury affected your life? Your Honor, I'm 71 years old. I served in Vietnam. I worked as a mechanic for 4 decades. This collarbone fracture means I can't work on cars anymore. It was what I enjoyed in retirement. I can't even lift my grandson. My wife has to help me get dressed because I can't raise my arm. Marcus actually yawns clearly while the victim speaks. Judge Caprio's expression tightens. Mr. Sterling, did you just yawn while Mr. Martinez was describing his injuries? Marcus shrugs. Look, it's unfortunate, but things happen. My dad will pay him. That should fix it. The gallery reacts loudly. Judge Caprio has to restore order. Mr. Sterling, this wasn't an accident. You intentionally assaulted him. Christopher Blackwell rises right away, and this time all 8 attorneys stand beside him in a perfectly coordinated move. It's obviously planned to intimidate. Blackwell speaks smoothly. Your Honor, my client is offering to fully compensate Mr. Martinez. Sterling Industries is ready to provide a significant settlement. Judge Caprio's face shows restrained anger. Mr. Blackwell, are you trying to buy your way out of criminal charges in my courtroom? Your Honor, we're simply suggesting a practical resolution. Sit down, all 8 of you. They sit, but the disruption is already done. The hearing has been turned into a spectacle. Judge Caprio pauses. He looks at the group of attorneys, then at Marcus. Then back at Christopher Blackwell. Mr. Blackwell, you indicated that Sterling Industries, a publicly traded corporation, is covering the legal fees for all 8 attorneys representing Mr. Sterling in this criminal matter. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. It falls within the company's legal authority, and Sterling Industries is listed on the New York Stock Exchange? Yes, Your Honor. So it has thousands of shareholders who collectively own portions of the company? Yes, Your Honor. And those shareholders' funds, their investments, are being used to hire 8 corporate attorneys to defend the CEO's son, who is charged with drunkenly assaulting a 71-year-old Vietnam veteran over a parking space. Blackwell shifts uneasily. Your Honor, the company has broad discretion. broad discretion to spend shareholder money on the personal criminal defense of the CEO's son. Judge Caprio picks up his phone. Clerk, connect me with the Securities and Exchange Commission's Enforcement Division. Marcus straightens for the first time. Wait, what? Christopher Blackwell's face drains of color. Your Honor, I'm not sure you don't think that's necessary? Mr. Blackwell, you just confirmed on the record that a publicly traded company is using shareholder funds to pay 8 lawyers to defend the CEO's son in a criminal case. I believe the SEC would be very interested in that. All 8 attorneys immediately begin whispering among themselves. Marcus looks alarmed. Moments later, the courtroom speakerphone activates. A professional female voice comes through. This is Director Patricia Morgan, SEC Enforcement Division. Am I speaking with Judge Frank Caprio? Yes, Director Morgan. Thank you for taking my call. You're on speakerphone here in Providence Municipal Court. How can I assist you, Your Honor? Director Morgan, I have a matter that may warrant SEC review. I'm presiding over a criminal assault case involving Marcus Sterling, son of Robert Sterling, CEO of Sterling Industries, a publicly traded NYC company. I'm familiar with Sterling Industries. Director Morgan addresses the courtroom. Mr. Sterling is represented today by 8 corporate attorneys from Morrison and Blackwell. His lead attorney has just confirmed on record that Sterling Industries, a publicly traded corporation, is covering the cost for all 8 lawyers through a legal defense fund meant for executive family members. In other words, shareholder money is being used to defend the CEO's son in a case involving the alleged drunken assault of a 71-year-old veteran in a restaurant parking lot. A long silence follows. When Director Morgan speaks again, her tone is firm. Your Honor, I want to be certain I heard this clearly. A public company is spending shareholder funds to pay for the CEO's son's legal defense in a personal criminal matter. That is what was just stated here. Yes, Your Honor. She continues. This raises serious concerns, possibly securities fraud, and improper use of corporate resources for the private benefit of an executive's family. If Sterling Industries is using investor money, funds intended only for legitimate business operations, to cover the CEO's son's personal legal issues, that would violate their fiduciary obligations and could amount to criminal misappropriation. Marcus looks visibly unwell. The 8 attorneys appear shaken, several quickly typing on their phones. Director Morgan continues, Your Honor, I am initiating an immediate review of Sterling Industries' use of corporate funds. We will issue subpoenas for all documents tied to this legal defense fund. Additionally, we will notify Sterling Industries shareholders through the appropriate channels that their investments may have been handled improperly. The judge asks, What happens from here, Director Morgan? Your Honor, once the market opens tomorrow and investors learn that company money was used for the CEO's son's criminal defense, Sterling Industries stock will likely face significant pressure. We're also suspending the company's legal defense fund while the investigation is ongoing. CEO Robert Sterling will face personal liability for misusing corporate assets. Judge Caprio asks, Is there anything further, Director Morgan? Yes, Your Honor, replies Morgan. We are coordinating with the FBI's White-Collar Crime Division. If we uncover criminal intent in the misuse of shareholder funds, federal charges will follow. The call ends. The courtroom falls completely silent. Judge Caprio turns to the 8 attorneys. Gentlemen, I assume Sterling Industries will no longer fund your representation of Mr. Sterling? Christopher Blackwell rises, his composure shaken. Your Honor, we need to consult with our client and Sterling Industries corporate counsel regarding our continued representation. I expected that, Judge Caprio responds. Mr. Sterling, you assaulted a 71-year-old Vietnam veteran. You showed no remorse, even yawning during his testimony. Meanwhile, your father's company spent shareholder money to assemble a legal team intended to intimidate this court. Here is your sentence, the judge continues. Assault and battery on an elderly person. 6 months in county jail, 3 years probation. 400 hours of community service at veteran organizations, mandatory anger management, and full restitution to Mr. Martinez for all medical and rehabilitation costs. Additionally, you are required to write a formal apology to Mr. Martinez to be read aloud in this courtroom. Marcus sits in stunned silence. Within 2 hours, the news breaks. The SEC announces an investigation into Sterling Industries for misusing shareholder funds. The stock market reacts immediately. Shares, which opened at $147, plunged to $88 by the close of 40%. Loss wiping out billions in shareholder value. The SEC issues a statement. Sterling Industries used corporate funds to cover the criminal defense of the CEO's son. Investigation ongoing. Shareholders are advised. That evening, Robert Sterling, the billionaire CEO, held an urgent press conference. He appeared visibly shaken. I authorized the use of company legal resources for my son's case. I believed I had the authority as CEO. I was wrong. I have undermined shareholder value, broken their trust, and misused my position. I am resigning as CEO effective immediately and will sell my shares to reimburse the company for all legal fees spent. Marcus Sterling serves his 6-month sentence. When he is released, he is changed. The sense of entitlement is gone. He meets James Martinez. Mr. Martinez, I assaulted you over a parking spot. I yawned during your testimony. I used my father's company funds to hire 8 lawyers to intimidate the court. I damaged my father's career and destroyed billions in shareholder value. I am truly sorry. James accepts his hand. Mr. Sterling, at 29, you thought your father's wealth made you untouchable. Now you understand. Respect cannot be bought. Only actions earn it. If this story resonated with you, subscribe for more moments where Judge Caprio demonstrates that no amount of lawyers, corporate power, or billionaire influence places anyone above justice. Remember his words. Accountability cannot be purchased. This is the legacy of Judge Frank Caprio, the integrity of Director Morgan, and the grace of James Martinez. Justice was served. Stock values fell. Intimidation failed. Accountability was restored.